Anybody who knows me will tell you that my dad has been unbelievably influential in my life. He's a math teacher at Campbell County High School. I'm a math teacher at Campbell County High School. He's an academic team coach. I'm an academic team coach. But I'd like to think that I played just a little bit of a role in getting him into the coaching business in the first place. You see, 2013 is actually my 25th year being in some role on an academic team. And Dad is a mere child of 17 years in the coaching business. He got into coaching my junior year of high school, and the team actually lobbied him to take over the team when another coach had left. So I remember a Hall of Fame coach when he was only a rookie. They grew up so quickly. Perhaps the most surprising thing for anybody who knows me is that I wasn't so sure my dad should become an academic team coach in the first place, or at least I had some concerns. He'd been a math coach for our school for years, but he was really busy. He had a lot of work to do. He was under a lot of stress. And besides, he was only about a year from retirement age, and I said, you know, I'm not sure this is something he wants to take on at this point in his career. And nearly 20 years later, looks like he got the last laugh there. So certainly it's turned into an amazing career. I think Dad would be the first to tell you that if anything, academic team coaching has rejuvenated the second half of his career, allowing him to teach probably another 20 years or so and continue to teach every day with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. And at the same time, he's been able to rejuvenate Campbell County's academic team program and help make it one of the best in the absolute best in the entire state. Dad's years as coach have been filled with amazing memories, tournament championships, cliffhanger matches, written assessment state champions, his attempts to demonstrate ballet motions on a hobbled knee, and lots of road trips, and lots of wrong turns on road trips. Dad's a little bit legendary for his perfectly executed timeouts. I think in another life he might have been maybe a college basketball coach or something like that. And Chris Gerard from Simon Kenton swears that he says something to the team that creates these magical comebacks when the team is down. In fact, Chris at one point actually called a timeout, literally just went up to his team, said nothing more than to point to my dad and say, what he said. Did it work? No. Sorry. I think the thing that I think is most special to me about my dad's coaching career is the fact that he is really respected around the coaching ranks. And in fact, he was nominated by two of his biggest rival coaches, Rick Carr and Chris Gerard, simultaneously for the Hall of Fame. And that's really exciting. That really says something, because academic team play can be very contentious at times. And he's always carried himself in a very respectful way, and again is, I think, loved and appreciated by the people who work with him. A great coach is a motivator, a psychologist, a teacher, and yes, a parent. And Dad has served in all of those roles for Campbell County's students. And so now, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you Campbell County's most interesting man in the world, Campbell County's head academic team coach, and most importantly, my father, Donn Manker.
This really does mean an awful lot to me. It really does. I'm speechless. He says as he pulls out his speech. Really is very humbling. Those of you who've been in any position like this, and most of you have, I think, it's very humbling. I read a quote from, you mentioned basketball coach, I read a quote from Rick Pitino 3 days ago, maybe you saw it. When he was being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he said, coaches don't get in the Hall of Fame, players put them in the Hall of Fame, and I've had a great journey along the way. So I especially need to thank my team members in the past 17 years, Jenna Garfolo and Jared Whitrock and some of the other names that some of you may have come across. It's really those people who did that. By the way, I don't mean to put myself on the same level as Rick Pitino. And actually you can read that a couple of different ways, because if you've heard what Governor Beshear says every year, he actually places academic coaches, or at least academic competitors on a higher level for what they will do for the state in the future. So you can read that any way you want. This honor means a lot to me for two reasons. Number one, I look at the list of people on the Hall of Fame list. I'm not going to tell you that I know all the elementary people or the competitors through the years, but I can pick out a number of names of high school coaches that are legendary as far as I'm concerned. People that I have learned from, people that I try to emulate, and have been very helpful to me. So that's a great honor for me. Second of all, KAAC and Governor's Cup changes people's lives. It has changed my life. It has changed our family's life. My younger son is currently working on his doctorate at Berkeley in a subject that he was introduced to as a Governor's Cup competitor. My oldest son, Christopher, who you just met, has been my assistant coach for 10 years. Actually, we co-coach the team now, is basically the way it works. My wife, Pam, is an elementary coach whose teams have currently won 4 consecutive regional titles. Typically, 2 or 3 of the players, starting players on my high school team, got their start on her teams. Last year, my starting team featured 3 players who got a perfect 36 ACT score. And the question was asked, was our team good because we had 3 36s? Or did they make 36s because they were on the academic team? And I reply a resounding yes to both of those, As Campbell County High School has steadily raised their ACT scores to among the top in the state, I also believe that that has helped the team. But I also think in some small way, the accomplishments of the academic team have helped in a way to change the culture in our high school. In closing, there are way too many people to thank, but I want to mention several people at the table and beyond. First of all, Judy Clements, a member of the Hall of Fame, encouraged me when I was a 26th year teacher to become head coach. She was very supportive. Very grateful to the 2 rival coaches who nominated me separately, they say. And that would be Rick Carr, who was a member of my first team, and Chris Gerard, the coach of the Simon Kent team, 2 of my best friends among rival coaches. I want to thank my principal, Renee Boots. You heard John Bennett mention how supportive the administrators can be, and Mrs. Boots has been tremendously supportive of the academic team in so many ways. I want to thank Linda Mauser, who started with me 17 years ago. We co-coached the team, and she's been involved in one way or another for most of those 17 years. And of course, to my family, my son Christopher, who started the family down the road when he was on his team in 3rd grade, to my wife Pam, who's always been there to help the team in whatever role was needed. And finally, special thanks to the KAAC board and to the KAAC staff and to John Bennett. They have devoted a big part of their life to something that has changed the life of so many students. Thank you very much.